Good evening. You're joining the State of Business, RTV's primetime news bulletin. I'm Nishani Pigera. Let's first take a look at tonight's main stories. 21 UPFA Provincial Council members receive SLPP membership. Sri Lankan economy expected to grow at 4.8% in 2018, says UNESCAP. In tonight's main story, several Sri Lanka Freedom Party Provincial Council members obtained SLPP membership in a ceremony held at the party headquarters of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in Battaramulla today. The event was graced by the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa and former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who attended the event on a special invitation from the party. During the event, 21 SLFP Provincial Council members received the membership of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Party. The United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific yesterday stated that Sri Lanka is expected to grow at 4.8% in 2018, but will lag behind developing Asia-Pacific economies that are projected to grow at 5.5% in both 2018 and 2019. UNESCAP's growth numbers to a certain extent is more optimistic than the World Bank's, which has projected Sri Lanka to grow at 4.3%, and the International Monetary Fund that has predicted 4%. Sri Lanka's central bank has projected growth to be between 4.5 and 5% this year. In more news tonight, the second edition of the Responsible Fashion Summit was held in Colombo this morning under the patronage of key several players in the local and international apparel industry. This summit is part of the responsible fashion movement that was launched last year with the introduction of Sri Lanka's first fashion hackathon called the Making of the Green Tea.
This summit is part of the responsible fashion movement, which is based on 8 impact areas, which are also mentioned in your books that you have with you. These 8 impact areas are current and very relevant to the global issues that the fashion industry is facing currently. The starting point for this movement was, I always used to look at the word sustainable, and I couldn't really find a meaning in that. I used to think, everyone using sustainable, from cars being sustainable to hotels being sustainable. So it was almost losing its meaning. So a lot of people ask me, so why is it called responsible? So my point was that, sustainable could be cold, it's very external. It's like dictating someone to do things in a certain manner. It's almost like policing someone. And I realized that if you police someone, you might end up leading to greenwash. Point was, how do we look for real action? So we said, okay, let's redefine and bring in the word responsible, because responsible is from within. It's almost like your internal cry to do something right. We like responsible. I think the world needs responsible. And we feel Sri Lanka has a good story and is positioned well to lead this movement in the region and expand it with an inclusive platform which can have an international footprint as well.
Time for us to slip in for a short break. Do stay with us for more news when we come back. Welcome back. You're watching The State of Business. Responding to questions during the weekly Cabinet press briefing, Co-Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne made the following statements with regard to the national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines.
නොයෙකුත් ගුවන් ජාත්‍යන්තර ගුවන් සමාගම් වලින් ආව ඔෆර්ස්. ඒ ආවට ඒක තවම එකක්වත් හරියට අවසන් වෙලා නැහැ. දැන්ටත් තියෙනවා අලුතෙන් යෝජනා දෙකක් ඇවිල්ලා ඒ දෙකත් දැන් සලකා බලාගෙන යනවා. ඒ නිසා ඉදිරියේදී මේ පිළිබඳව මේ ගුවන් සේවය අපිට නවත්තන්න බෑනේ, මේක ජාතික ගුවන් යානයනේ. එතකොට ඒ ජාතික ගුවන් යානයත් එක්ක මොකද කරන්න කියලා. කිසිම සුදුසුකමක් නැතුව ඕ ලෙවල්වත් නැති පුද්ගලයෙකුට දුන්නා සභාපතිකම දීලා කරගත්ත විනාශය. ඉතින් මේ ආණ්ඩුව ඇවිල්ලා මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙත් බාර දුන්න කට්ටිය ඒ වගේම ඉතුරු ටිකක් කෑවා. දා ඉඳලම විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලය, ඛනිජ තෙල් සංස්ථාව, ශ්‍රී ලංකන් ගුවන් සේවය මේ ඔක්කොම හැමදාම ওই විදියටම පාඩු ලබන තත්ත්වයක් තමයි තිබෙන්නේ.
And now let's take a look at a few cabinet decisions in brief, which were granted approval by the Cabinet of Ministers at its meeting yesterday. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal to host the International Exhibition and Summit on Sustainable Solutions on Water Security and Water Development in Colombo next year. A proposal to enter into a memorandum of understanding between Thailand and Sri Lanka covering the fields of investment, agricultural development, promotion of the fisheries industry and tourism was granted approval by the Cabinet. The Cabinet of Ministers also approved the proposal to appoint a committee of experts to study the capability of expanding high-standard broadband connection and electricity by sharing infrastructure facilities through licensed broadband suppliers and licensed electricity distributors. After this short break, it's a Stock Watch. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all share price index dropped 37.05 points to close at 6,044.03, and the S&P SL20 dropped 22.31 points to close at 3,280.8. Turnover was 261.5 million rupees and 21.3 million shares were traded. And here's a look at the day's foreign exchange rates. And that brings the show to a close for tonight. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.